I feeling so wrong? My head's in the game, but my heart's in the song. Bad bitch in between your teeth. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know what you've been told. It's like, no. This always looks kind of junky when I come on here. So let that be known. There you go. Zoomed in a little. Maybe that's better. No, I look bad. Folks, why is it on talk show and podcast? I just wanted to come here and test some things to see if my computer still worked. So, a couple updates. Yeah. Oh my god, wait. Forgot to mute this. I don't know how to change the category. How do I do that? Oh. Just chatting. My good Judy just chatting. Guys, my hands are rusty. All right, I'm here because like no. I want to get on here and make some things. Try to make some things. I need music though. I don't know how to play it. Cuz I don't have Spotify anymore. I have Apple Music because I have an iPhone and an iPad and an Apple Watch. The Holy Trinity. And so eventually I was like, let me just get Apple Music because actually at one point I think it was with the purchase of my iPad, I got 3 free months of Apple Music and I realized I never used that. And Spotify was getting expensive, so I just could not live that life anymore. And I decided to get Apple Music, but then my 3-month whatever expired and I was like, I already have so many playlists. Although objectively I do have more playlists and things on Spotify. Like that is my favorite thing / least favorite thing about certain social media sites. Like there becomes a time when you've spent so much time on that social media site that if you leave, it's almost like a sunken cost fallacy or whatever. It has so much stuff, like how a lot of people won't delete their Facebooks because there's just so many pictures and memories of their of like just being on Facebook for so long. So it's like if I delete it, I don't feel like downloading all those memories. But anyway, when in my stead, okay, I became a expert crochetist and I started my own small business. Just kidding. But look how much. Actually, I can actually. Wait. I did nothing. Look how much yarn I have, y'all. Actually, maybe I can go, okay. Rate my projects with me. No. Okay. So project 1 actually is this hat. I actually made it with my friend Jazz Present. So corroboration that I actually made this hat. I would actually, it's a cat beanie hat gone wrong because it's like not really giving. But this camera makes me look like my head is shrinking. But I feel like it's a good first attempt and I really like the cat beanie so far. I want to make it in like 8 different colors, hence the yarn. This though is my magnum opus, even though I did not like literally tie up any of the ends, but I made a scrap bag and I think this is so cute and trendy. The other stuff is just random. Like these are just some other random purses I made. This I don't even know why I made this because truth be told, I would never wear a bag this small. Like I'm not a tiny shoulder bag person. When I when I choose a bag, choose my main driver bag, it's got to be big and thick because I throw in everything that I can when I go anywhere. So a tiny bag like this, cute as it may be, especially this colorway. Shout out to the pink girls. But I'm probably never going to actually wear it because it's way too tiny. Similar to this is like a little market bag situation that I made. And as cute as it is, I can just see a bunch. Well, I don't even have like a farmer's market to like kind of like, hey, like walk up and waltz up to. So kind of irrelevant to the way I live my life, but that's fine. And then this one is also really, really good. But the only problem with this one is that it's just so like stretchy. Like that's one of the things with like crocheting bags and stuff. You have to like it's stretchy, you see? So if I put a lot of garbage in it, LOL. If I put a lot of garbage in here, it's just going to stretch down to my knees. So that's all well and dandy. But actually, currently, I've been interested in making hats. So I'm going to make another cat hat from scratch. Off the top of the dome. No, I use patterns that I buy either online or, even though this is a pretty simple construction. Okay. Let me go get the jam. I hope there's no stain on my shirt. All right, so first we gotta pick a color. The color I want is not here though. So what's going on? I was actually in the middle of making a hat, so the hat I was originally going to choose doesn't even work. But pink and gray is kind of a goated combo, but I'm not quite sure if this is what I want to make. Like, I realized that's a lot of the artistry. That's a lot of the artistry of crocheting. Not even necessarily like doing the techniques, but like choosing like colorways. Because there's like, basically, there's like, I was looking at some of like online, like the Instagram crochet stores and like fiber artists and stuff like that. And a lot of the stuff I look at and I'm like, wow, like, you know, anyone could make that, like the simple stuff, the hats and stuff. But the thing is, having the creativity to know what colorways or what patterns would look really dope together is part of the key, because stuff can look so ugly if it's an ugly colorway. So that's one of my things, like trying to have like an eye for like what duos. And I think pink and gray is such a solid ass duo. Like it's so a cute duo. I was gonna use this sparkly stuff, but what am I, 5? No, just kidding. I bought it because I really liked it. So back there on my hooks. Actually, maybe if I throw in black, it might eat. Black, pink, and gray. Okay. Yay for black, pink, and gray. Actually, I'll just do pink and gray. That's another thing. I'm addicted to like starting these Johns and then like never finishing them. So that, we'll see if I actually finish this. How do I do this? What the hell? Usually I can pull, right? You can pull it out of here. I don't know. This is my first time working. This is my first time working with this yarn. So I actually don't know. Actually, truth be told, I kind of just be doing anything. Because I only recently learned you're not allowed to, or you're not supposed to just take this off, but here we are. Wait. So anyway, happy holidays. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm definitely not, no, just kidding. I always there's only 2 things that happen when the holidays come, and they're both sad. I either get sad because I've become reflective about my year, and in doing that, I automatically think about all the things I did not do and I said I was going to do this time last year. And so I quantum crash out, or I start the process of wanting to change my life because I'm like, oh, like this is it. Like I need to start the new year, new me early because we're just going to start with gray because I don't know what this pink is doing actually. Like, where's the little John? But yeah, so I started and then like I'm killing myself over trying to do too much. So I don't really know if I've learned anything from that per se. We're just taking this off because this is getting on my nerves. And you know you gotta start with pink. All right, so let's let this be a little tutorial for the girls that want a girl. Okay, so I'm gonna use a 6mm hook to make the foundation chain. Maybe I should put crochet stream. I'm always like, should I be in my actual proper? I'll say crochet and chill. Is that corny to say? Is that chuggy? Knit emoji. What was I gonna say? Okay. Yes. Anyway, so yeah, I start like, exercising or doing whatever super like my life is gonna change, new year, new me, and then I just burn myself out. So I really am trying to find like a happy medium where I'm not super, emo, depressed of like, oh, I could have been a millionaire by now. But I'm also not like I have to deny because that's the thing. What happens is hold on. I just gotta lotion my hands because I think it's actually very blasphemous for me to look like this on screen. Also, I should probably put on socks. But yeah, so I'm not even looking into the right thing. This is Nature Beauty's Vitamin E Hydrating Moisture Cream. But yeah, so new year, new me. By this time this year, I'm either depriving myself of indulging and enjoying all the holidays that happen during this time because I'm like, I gotta start new year, new me early, or I'm depressed because I'm like, wait, why didn't I discover the meaning to life this year? So I'm trying to be somewhere in the middle, where I'm not fully quantum crashing out, but I'm also not trying to like open my third eye and elevate to the next dimension. So I'm just trying to be chill with it. I'm trying to not put too much stake in anything. I don't know. It's been a hard year for me personally. I feel like for a lot of people, but for me, this year didn't look like I thought I was gonna like, especially this time last year. So I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. I don't whatever. Um, Also, it's been so long that I've been on Twitch that I'm like, what the heck are half of these thingies that they're asking me? But yeah, so in the beginning of the year, I don't know. I actually don't know what I don't really want to count this. So I'm just going to wing it. Okay, so you got to start with a loose foundation chain because it's going to be tight if you don't. So I think I need to do like 80 or something. But the thing is, I'm not going to count. So I don't know why I even said that. But yeah, I definitely was like, last year was like, I was a fitness guru, always up in the gym, calorie counting like a mofo, doing all that, getting really buff and stuff like that. And that was like my thing. But I think I definitely overdid it last year to the point that it became kind of disordered and kind of unhealthy. So, and you know how I know? Because I crashed out in the beginning of this year. And that was kind of the main part about this year not really looking like I thought it was going to look, because due to that crash out, I kind of pulled back on the exercising, had to kind of find myself outside of exercising and how I looked. And that was really, really hard because like body image and what have you has always been like a struggle thing for me. And so when I like got, when I was looking like Jordan Bond Strangle last year, I finally was like, okay, I finally solved that piece of the puzzle that I always couldn't figure out. And there was some relief in that. There was also some stress because I knew I was exercising a lot, maybe to an unsustainable level. And so I was like, I don't have to do this forever, like, that kind of thing. And at the time, I don't think maybe it was like lingering in the back of my head. I didn't really think about like, am I gonna have to do this forever? But it was kind of lingering in the back because I would exercise a lot. Like sometimes if I was bored, I would just go to the gym twice a day. And the thing is, there are sacrifices, right? When you're going to the gym that much. Obviously, the benefit is that you are ripped stud well. You look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But the cons are like it really starts to dawn on you, I think, when you get older, that like when you're doing something, you can't be doing something else, if that makes sense. So time becomes very valuable because it's like, okay, if you're choosing to maybe like have a very, very intense job where you're working 24/7, and when this is too big, and I blame who? Myself. Okay. Girl, I should have just counted. I'm gonna have to count. Let's see. One. I think I'm gonna do the original thing said 70, so I'm gonna try 70. 2, 3, ooh, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. This seems long as hell, but I'm going to trust the process. Also, I realized I didn't do my little trick for making sure the chain doesn't mess up, so there's that. But anyway, so yeah, last year, 2024 actually, I got real buff and real in shape, and that was kind of my whole concentration. Oh, that's what I was saying. Like, it's very like important to recognize when you like when you're hyper focusing on one thing, that means you can't do other stuff. So it became like, I personally think one of the reasons why working out became my personality is because like I made it so I really had nothing else going for me. Because I would just be working out all the time. Like anytime I wasn't working, as in like clocked in, I was at the gym and it was actually kind of nice because I did meet like gym people are so nice. Because they like the ones that genuinely are just like, we're here to be buff. We're here to, train our bodies. They're really, really nice. So I did meet a lot of nice people at the gym. Hold on, I have to get a stitch marker. Stitch marker. And when I need another one and I have to get up again. Anyway, yeah, and I met really, really nice people. And it's actually kind of tragic right now because I was MIA from the gym so long and physically I've changed a lot. I'm kind of scared to go back because I don't want anyone to be like, girl, you gained it all back or whatever. Because that would probably make me quantum crash out. But anyway, yeah, so that kind of became my personality. And that was hard because when you then lose all your progress, you're kind of like, ooh, what do I have to show for those like months that I put in at the gym? And so then that can make you really sad as well. So I think when I realized what I was doing wasn't sustainable and that I was reversing some of the progress I made, it was really, really hard to kind of be like, okay, what do I do now? Like I put myself through the ringer for something that I'm finding out now wasn't sustainable, but I put a lot of stake in terms of esteem and like accomplishment. Like it's like, oh, I don't really do much today, but I went to the gym twice. So therefore I'm an iconic piece of work, and not having that anymore. So anyway, this year I think was kind of about, I don't want to say finding myself because that kind of seems cliche, but it was kind of finding other avenues to build like self-esteem and focus my interests. And I think it was actually kind of nice because it really made me reanalyze, okay, what in my life is actually important and like I can't really live without or see myself without, or brings genuine joy to me, and what stuff am I just kind of doing because I have nothing else to do, or because I don't know, I think I should be doing it and stuff. And I think I'm one of those people that have like very I don't know, I like a lot of stuff that I liked when I was in like college and high school. So it's like sometimes I'm like, should I still be liking this, like anime and K-pop and all that stuff, from just like a, I don't know, I feel like it's like stereotypical. I was not supposed to use this. See, the key is you're supposed to switch from using a 6 to a 5, and I did not do that, so I'm gonna have to undo all these stitches. Also, I don't know where my 5 is. Actually, it's right here. Slay. But yeah, and so I think I personally get sometimes, like when I'm around the right group of people, i.e. my friends who have very similar likes and like interests, I'm like, all right, bet, we're going to this concert, we're doing this thing, we're going to this convention. But then when I get around people maybe around my age that didn't grow up in my exact environment, sometimes I feel a little stunted. I'm not gonna lie. And just interest wise, because I think in every other aspect, I'm mature, but just like my interests and my hobbies and things I do outside of work and things like that, I'm like, I don't know. I maybe find hard to connect to people outside of my immediate friend group because I feel like I'm so different. I'm not like other people. I was going to say girls, but I just feel like people in general. But yeah, so trying to find things like, going out. What do I really like about going out? Is it nothing? Is it being out with my friends? Is it, certain hobbies I would partake in? Was I just kind of doing it because I was bored and it was kind of keeping me from finding real hobbies that I would actually like versus things that I'm just kind of doing because I already have been doing them, if you know what I mean? So there's a lot of that this year, and it was really hard because it's really easy to rely on just like old habits just because they're like what you would do. So like stuff that you would do to have fun. And it's like, is this really fun? And like, I don't know, coming to terms with the stuff that I actually do find fun is kind of crazy. Now I feel like I'm just talking in circles. Anyway, that being said, one of the things that I always wanted to try was crochet. I tried it over the pandemic, but let me not cute it up. The pandemic. But I don't know, I was stressed during the pandemic. I always like look back and people who are like pandemic success stories because they blew up on social media or they got their life together or they got fit or whatever. I really like kudos to them because I was losing my mind. Like I was really like being down on myself and being like, oh my God, why couldn't you have started a business during the pandemic? But then I was like, girl, you didn't even know if stepping outside would end your life, I lived in a city at the time, so most of my transportation was done through public transit, and I could like not go anywhere because I was afraid that if I stepped foot on any type of public transit, I would literally immediately catch COVID and disintegrate. And it's just like sometimes it's important to remember to put things in perspective because it's really easy to be like, oh, I should have done X, Y, and Z, but it's like, what was your actual psyche like at the time? Like, be for real. You weren't trying to start a business when you were in 8th grade. Stop it. And be more nice to yourself. But anyway, I don't want to be like, okay, next year I'm gonna do all this stuff, because I do in the vein that I was talking about before, where it's like time is very precious, and like when you're doing something else, it's like the whole thing with like going on dates, when people would like go on dates for fun, not because they're really interested in the person, they just wanted to kind of go out. But like not only are you wasting that person's time, you're wasting your own time, because you could be doing stuff that isn't dating, but that is more like, what is it, wholesome? No, that's more valuable to you and actually helps you and makes you feel good or whatever. So that's basically what I want to do next year and starting this year too. Just like do things, like try things, right? Don't be afraid to try something because you're not sure how it goes. But as soon as I'm like, I'm not feeling this, bounce. And that goes for like relationships, like platonic or otherwise, like something I tried, some situations I'm in, because it's just like that's another thing that I want to get better at, like knowing when to bow out of situations or like relationships or interactions with people, because you're like, I'm not really feeling this, and not like doing the whole, oh my god, I'm going to be so mean or whatever. It's not that deep a lot of the time. Like, it's really not that deep. And it's like, again, the whole time thing, like, don't waste your time for no reason. Like, it doesn't really make sense. Ooh, look how far along. I'm loving this gray. This gray is so cute. Hopefully the pink eats too, or I'm gonna have to I don't know. I also am like, dang, that like I got into crochet after the Joann's fiasco, because now I'm like, where am I gonna get freaking yarn? I don't like buying things online. Like, I do, but I just like, I don't know, the feeling of, because it's like everything tends to be cheaper online. But like, I just like going into a store and like not doing anything. That's like my favorite. That is my new meter of whether I really like someone or not. Not romantically, like hanging out with somebody, like somebody's presence, like we gel well. If I could get excited about the idea of going like to some random store with you, then or just like getting boba or something, or like walking around the city, then you are like that, we're locked in. Like, I like, that was another thing in my whole like, I gotta cut some people off type of epiphany, was that there's some people that only in very certain situations can we have fun together. And a lot of the time it's situations where I have to alter my mood chemically for that to be a thing, and I'm like, that's not fun. Or like, it's like I can only hang out with them if like 12 other people are there, or certain people have to be there, and I'm like, that person is allowed to just be an acquaintance I see sometimes. We don't have to build it anything beyond that. And that's not like rude, it's just like, yeah, I want to spend time with people that I really gel with, and like they revive me when I hang out with them. And yeah, because I feel like when I was like the most happy, invigorated and stuff like that, it was when I would just hang out with my friends. And like, most of my like closest friends I met when I was very young, which means I met when I was very broke. So it wasn't about really what we did, it was just about having fun. Well, we had a lot of common ground, right? Because like, when you're in school, you live in the same city, there's just, you're in that social circle, a lot of like things are topical to you and the person. And so y'all, we're making proggy. But yeah, they're very topical to you. But like, yeah, we would do a bunch of nothing, and I would literally be like, when, where, like how, like I'd be so excited. But then it's like, I think it's just, I don't know, I don't want to bring it back to dating and romantic stuff too much, but it's like, even like when you're like, oh, I'm about to go on a date but I'm not even excited, stop wasting people's time, just bounce out, try to like find people that you organically are excited to like learn about and hang out with. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Anyway, one of the things that I was like skeptical, where I was like, am I too old for this? Is going back to cons. But I recently saw some of my friends that I go with cons with, because I was a solo con goer for the longest time, and I don't know why. I feel like I had this internalized shame of like, anime is lame. So I was like, oh my god, I can't tell anyone I do this. I gotta just go solo, which honestly led to some very dangerous situations. So I don't recommend. But like pretty recently, I don't know, within the last 3 years, I've gotten like my friends into going with cons, and it is so fun. Like going with a crew is like literally reinvigorated. Like I probably would have stopped going to cons a long time ago if I hadn't started going with my friends. And not just friends you meet there. Like that's the thing. I kind of, was able to like do it by myself because there was like a lot of people who I would just tend to see at cons in certain areas, and then those became kind of my con friends. So it was like I'd go alone, but then I would meet up with them, or check who's going and such and such. Oh my god, I had so many con beefs because of that too. But anyway, but going with people and knowing that no matter what the con happens at the con, and no matter who you meet there and who else is going, you're gonna have people that you like to hang out with, just makes it a whole new experience. And so, I was close to giving it up because I'm like, oh, am I too old for this? Oh, I gotta like save my money to do things like international traveling, which I am super into now. Like, I'm so mad that it took me so long to discover. Well, also, I needed to build like the what is it called, disposable income, to be able to do it and get better at planning. But like it took me so long to get on the, oh my god, this did not twist, did it? If this twisted, yipes, what is this? I don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, no, it's like this, but did it twist is my question. If this twist, I'm gonna be so sad because I don't know how to remedy this. Oh, it twisted. Okay, we can salvage this maybe. Because, yeah, it's exactly upside down. But I starved. Crap. No, we can salvage this. It's gonna look wonky. So this is the top. And this is the top over here. And let's just make sure this is right. Okay. We're gonna do some movie magic here. Stop twisting. Thank you. Okay. So I'm gonna do the last. Actually, don't know if this is okay. Actually, it won't matter as soon as I connect it. The bottom will look janky, but whatever. Okay. I don't know if this is okay. I think this is not okay. It's fine. We did it. I might do 2 rows of this color because I'm actually so confused. But okay, there we go. And let me do another row of this because I'm not trying to live this life where it's about to twist. Yeah, let me do another row and then I'll just roll this up anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, we'll do another row of the gray. Maybe we'll do 2 rows colors of each because, yeah, I don't want to have to stress myself out. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah, so I'm trying to go to Katsucon this year and a couple other conventions. Well, the 3 that I really want to go to is Katsucon, which I have gone with my friends before. Colossal Con, the main one, which, oh my gosh, like it's been a cute minute since I've been in Colossal Con. Ew, this is kind of ugly. Have stepped foot in Colossal Con, or like looked to go there. And tell me why they have a whole extended cinematic universe for Colossal Con now. I saw that they have a Colossal Con Virginia that's opening in 2027, and I'm like, what the hell? I guess it's good because Colossal Con is definitely one of those cons that are overcrowded. And may I say, even though I haven't gone in 36 years, my census of that con, similar to Katsucon, is that the location hard carries for those cons. Because if you actually look at the programming stuff, and I'll say I'm a little biased because I don't know. I just don't know any of those people they invite. I will say that they stepped the game up with like their idol J-pop programming and like J-fashion programming, but I just feel like there tends to be nothing to do there. But like that's not the reason why a lot of people go, so people don't really complain. But another thing is that the venue and the way like the gazebo and all that stuff is so iconic. I feel like among cosplayers and anime con goers that a bunch of people go, and that's the reason why they go. So it'd probably be hard for the con to move somewhere else without changing the whole vibe. I feel like I already regret this. Why is that so? Without changing the vibe of the con. But that venue, I don't know, because apparently they don't even rent out the whole venue, and there's a bunch of surrounding hotels, but it always just seems unnecessarily hard to get a place to stay when you go there. A mess. But like I don't know. I feel like it's like for me there's definitely a lot of nostalgia because I think my first one was like I remember I went in 2015, but I don't know if that was my first one. But obviously at this point that's 10 years ago. So there's like a lot of nostalgia with like being like, "Oh my god, like this is the first time I and that and this and that. This is the first time I did a cosplay group blah blah blah." But like I don't know. I feel like it's like I'm chokeholded by that place because I'm like, is it that fun as a con itself? No. But with the added like pump of adrenaline I get now that like a lot of my IRL in real life friends go, it's always fun. And it's really fun to mix the insanity that I would experience going to cons when I was younger and now presenting that same insanity like my friends. It makes it really fun. But okay. I feel like I'm going to hate how this looks, but that's okay. I'm excited though because I usually do 80, but I did 70. And I've been realizing I think I have a big head, but a lot of these patterns have shown me my head is very regular size. Thank you very much. I'm saying to myself. And so I always overshoot, or when I first started like doing hats and stuff like that, I would always overshoot and like be like, okay, whatever the pattern says, I have to extend it by like 2 inches, and then I would end up with these huge hats. But what you have to remember, especially when you're working with acrylic, is that it stretches. So it's like, yeah, it might be kind of small, but it's going to stretch over time and fit your head. But anyway, yeah, so I'm excited to go to Katsucon, even though I'm kind of Stockholm syndromed by it. ColossalCon Prime. That's what my point was. I've gone to ColossalCon East with my friends, but going to ColossalCon Prime would be very, very fun. I've only ever been to ColossalCon Prime once, but I had a blast. So it'd be really fun to take them to that and show them. I still personally think, even though there's like 17 ColossalCons and I've only been to Prime and East, that ColossalCon Prime is the best one. And there's just something about a con like that in the right at the beginning of summer. Very fun, and I think it would be really, really fun with my friends. Another one that I would really like them to go to is DreamCon. Now, DreamCon, it's expensive as hell, especially if you don't already live in the South. So, like, from that perspective, it's like, but it actually is a genuinely fun con with good programming. Like, that's the first con in a while that I'm like, oh, the programming actually eats down. There's always something to do. I'm not somebody who's like gagged over like streamers and stuff, because I definitely think it's like a meet and greet streamers con. So if you're like maybe younger or whatever, and like those type of streamers, you'll see them. And then there's a lot of content around like, see famous streamers and content creators do this, which I don't care too much about. No shade, like, not to be shady, I just don't. I mean, I like a lot of the creators, but I'm not that gagged over seeing them play basketball or whatever. But outside of that, the paneling and stuff like that is really, really great, and it's really, really unique, especially for a con space. I think it helps that it's not solely an anime con. It's like a creator slash anime slash a bunch of different nerd cultures slash cosplay. I was there when they showed Megan Thee Stallion, and that it was so cool they got her, but they did not put her talents to use, because the thing that they had her host was kind of a mess. No shade. But yeah, I would like to go there as well. But it's quite expensive. Other than that, maybe Otakon, just because me and Jazz have gone to Otakon like twice. And it was fun, but we always are in a situation where we can't stay the whole con. So it'd be really nice to go with more of my friends and stay the whole con. Um, yeah, so that's kind of, I don't know why I feel like it's taking me so long. Did I do this incorrectly? Oh my god. Wait, did I do this wrong? No way, no way. You know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna skip to pink anyway, because I don't. Honestly, though, so I got the big twist yarn, and then I also got the loops and threads, whatever this is called. This loops and threads is feeling very nice. I kind of wish I would have just got the loops and threads, because this feels very thick and soft for value yarn. That was like $3. Um, but yeah, I'm also kind of like, oh, I want to do some fun cosplays. Because I think one of the nice things about being in a lot of these hobbies, especially because I've been in a lot of the hobbies that I'm in for a long time, is like now that I'm in like fully functioning adult, I have like money to spend on this stuff. So it's like, oh yeah, like honestly, love a scrappy, you know, using what I have to make a costume moment. Okay, I have to switch yarn. Would this eat? No, that would starve. Okay. Would this eat though, is the question. Gray and sparkly pink. Would that be cute or would that be ugly? Also, this is not comfortable. Like the sparkles make this genuinely uncomfortable, if you can believe. We'll just do pink for now. That's actually the nice thing that's about a lot of these hat projects is that they actually build up pretty quickly. So if I'm like, okay, I want to try one thing, but if I end up not liking it, I can still do the project to finish, and then I can just be like, all right, let me make another one with the other colors. All right, so let me switch yarns here. Oh, also for Halloween, I'm kind of shocked because this Halloween, I kind of was like not really, I don't know. They're like, that's what I meant that I was saying before. It's just that this year has just gone not in the way that I thought it would. So a lot of the things that I was like, so I don't want to say excited for because I'm still excited, but like excited in the sense you would plan in advance. I just kind of like was like, oh, all of a sudden it's Halloween. Okay. All of a sudden it's my birthday, that kind of thing. And I just feel like I did not give it. Oh, yeah. This yarn, I don't know if it's just this color. This is thick and plump and juicy. This big twist stuff is kind of thin in comparison. Well, maybe it's my fault for just like not using the same yarn brand, but you see how I backtracked because I want to get sponsored? I need free yarn actually. Ooh, this might be kind of not it. We'll see, whatever. If not, do I have any alternatives? Well, the other problem is that like the Loops and Threads brand didn't have this type of pink that I like. This kind of baby, you know, cute pink. So I was really had my back up against the wall. Okay, I think I'm going to do 2 rows of each because that would actually be really cute. And I think I do 18 rows in total. So, oh yeah, this yarn is thin as hell. We'll see how this builds up. Oh no. Oh no. Well, in comparison, it's thin. Maybe though, one of the things I like with crocheting is that I kind of just go with the flow because it's very easy, in my opinion, to like if you mess up or you don't like something, to undo the work you did and start from scratch because things build up pretty easy depending on like, what the needle size and stuff like that is. So anytime I'm like, I don't know how I feel like this about this, I'll kind of just do it anyway. And if I get to a point where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is ugly, then I'll just restart and go in a different direction. But I feel like it's kind of taught me to kind of not be scared of failure. Dramatic, right? But it's just kind of like, well, yeah, sometimes you just gotta try your first idea, and if it doesn't work, not feel like, oh, it's the end of the world. Just be like, all right, let's go back and course correct. And it really do sometimes be like that. Like, sure, sometimes it can make it so you use a lot of time up, or, or resources, but I don't know. Sometimes it's just better, because even if I try it and it's not something that I wanted to do, maybe it's something that might be useful in a different project. So I just learned a new technique, or learned how something would look in, like, I don't know, if maybe it's like a colorway or something like that, and then I'm like, all right, bet, like, next time I do something I can utilize that. But this time it just like wasn't for me. So that's what I also like. So many techniques involving crochet have been from me being like, this isn't right, but let's see where this goes, because, see, look how smaller this is. I don't know, y'all. We'll just keep going. Also, what's really nice is that, so there's a lot of craft fairs and stuff around where I live. So if I make something and I'm like, realistically, I'm not going to wear this, not because it's poorly made, but because, like, maybe the colorway is not really what I would wear, or maybe it's like a project that I did just to be able to learn a certain technique or try something out, but it results in like a product that I don't really care for, or I don't really want to use. I'm just like, okay, I can just kind of stack these and then sell them at the craft fairs. The people who actually participate in craft fairs are probably like, girl, do you really think that's easy? A mess. But, I'm going to assume it's easy until it shows me it's hard. How about that? See? Okay, so I think I can probably finish. I probably think I could, because I'm probably going to go to bed in like 25 minutes. And I think I can finish a pretty good chunk here before that's up. All right, so another thing is for Capticon, me and my friends want to do Marvel Rivals, of which I have never played. So I'm trying to become a guru at it so I can impress them. Now, they've already agreed to teach me how to play it, but I was like, you know what? It would be really cool if I do the whole, guys, I don't know, and then I come in there and be the best. What the problem is, games like that give me so much anxiety, because I don't like the fact that it's like, if you're working on a team, you can let a team member down. Because I've seen too many compilations of people being so mean, and when it comes to gaming, I know that I'm not that good, so I'm very sensitive, and I feel like I'll be like, okay, let me just never play again because this person yelled at me, or I could feel the anxiety. But that's one of the things I kind of want to get over too, just being like, okay, criticism, harsh words exist. You don't have to make it or let it like demolish you. Okay, so one thing though is like, I've been just like kind of casually consuming K-pop. Really like, oh, this is kind of an old take. Really like Jenny and Lisa and Rose's album last year. I didn't get to listen to Jisoo's, but I've been really liking some of the new groups that have been coming out recently, and just like their vibes and their themes and stuff like that. So it's kind of like interesting, because I thought after a certain point I would just not be into trying out new groups. But like, yeah, a lot of new groups. I know a lot of people will be like, they're not K-pop, but I've been enjoying Cat's Eye a lot. I like the Chorus two of their songs, the ones that are like the real popular ones. Um, that new song. Don't do this to me. That new song by XG Gala. Okay, is it me, or do you feel like people kind of threw XG to the curb for no reason? I feel like I like remember when they came out with that Left Right song, people were obsessed. And me too, rightfully so. Those songs were good. There was Left Right or Right Left, whatever it's called. You got and then that other song. And they like kind of like out of the K-pop bit related acts, they kind of like own the Y2K whatever. And I love the fact that they're still doing hardcore Y2K, which I think other groups that use that as a theme have kind of abandoned it. But I feel like everyone's like, y'all still doing that, which is like so crazy, because it's like, oh, that wasn't just like a thing for us, that's like our whole thing. But that Gala song they reached or put out recently, I feel like one of those stands that are like, y'all don't like real talent, because it's so good. And I feel like, no, like the dance is so good, and I feel like nobody's making waves. Oh, another thing about dance. I'm going to my first K-pop club night in a bit, in like the next like month or whatever, and I'm scared. That lady that made that thing about the somber kid, I'm scared that's about to be me, because it is a 21 plus, obviously. But I'm like, I know K-pop fans maybe can skew younger, but I don't know. It's like I feel like it'd be so fun to go to a club that has K-pop songs. I've never experienced that emotion, so I'm excited for it, and I'm happy because a lot of my friends are going with me as well. So we'll see. I'm always like, I might vlog about it, and I just never vlog. Vlogging, honestly, the Lord's strongest soldiers, because vlogging in public, maybe it's just me, it's so hard. Like, it's so hard, especially if you're just talking to yourself. But you know, the hardest thing for me is not even like feeling embarrassed or whatever. It's that I'm afraid that somebody might think I'm filming them in a creepy way and start to feel very uncomfortable. Like, that is like my biggest fear, making people uncomfortable. And so it's just like sometimes I'm like, let me not even take out my camera, because I know I'm not recording this person, but they might not know they're not being recorded. And so I don't know. I wish there was a better way to like show, hey, I'm not trying to record you, and because that is such a real thing. People will record things or record people and just throw it up on the internet without their knowledge, and suddenly you're going viral and had no. This is a cute colorway. This is about to eat. No, this is about to eat. When y'all see me with this next stream, um yeah, so I'm just always just like, I don't want people to think I'm a weirdo about them and like secretly recording stuff, so it's really really hard. But I feel like it would be fun to vlog. um Also, sometimes I'm like, especially when people aren't shy about like showing very identifiable like places around where they presumably live or work, I'm kind of like, don't, 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 because it's like, it just feels so unsafe, and it's, I don't know. I know there's been a lot of stuff about stalkers and stuff within the last, especially on Twitch, within the last couple weeks. But it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't do it. I'd have to like live somewhere where there's just so many people. Like, maybe like if you live in New York, there's just so many people that live there that maybe it's, you know, if you show the equinox you go to or whatever, it's not that big of a deal. But I still always get gagged when people are very, very obvious about, like, what scares me the most is when people like are like doing their get ready with me or whatever part of their blog and like vlog and getting ready leaving the house, and they like show like their street and like the front of their house or like their apartment lobby, and I'm like, what are we doing here? What is going on? Like, is it, and I feel like it's very copy and paste behavior, where it's like, well, I've seen that this is the way my favorite vlogger does their vlogs, so I need to do it. And I'm like, I don't know. Because I think a lot of too, when you get to a certain level of fame and notoriety, you probably have security, or you live in an apartment that has a lot of security. So like, even if somebody does try to stalk you, um, you know, they can't actually get too far because of your security. But if you're newer and starting out, you don't, like, anyone could find your videos, become obsessed with you, follow you, yada 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 yada. But you probably aren't at the level to think you need or be able to afford the level of security to make sure nothing bad happens. So I just get very wary, especially with like young women vloggers and TikTokers, that there's too much information about your personal location that needs to, like, somebody needs to teach a class like vlogger safety, content creator safety 101, and just do's and don'ts of how to like vlog your day without it being too obvious where you are when you go to places. I know a lot of people, you know, will do the thing where they won't post like Instagram stories until they've are long gone from the place that the story is from. Hold on. Oh, actually I can still keep talking. So something like that, but for people who do like routine vlogs, so whether that's like weekly or monthly, but they do it in a way where it's like this is their normal day to day, i.e., the places they talk about in said vlog, you could easily find them in. It just seems really dangerous. Oh my. Okay. This is like that is one of my other pet peeves. I say as if I've been listing them this whole time. But one of my biggest pet peeves of yarn, I have this tendency to get it tangled everywhere. And that's really annoying. But one thing that I don't get from like the fiber arts community is that like there's like this whole thing about like when there are like knots in your yarn, and maybe I haven't made anything delicate enough where knotting up the thing, having to knot two strands together or whatever is like just ruins the whole vibes or whatever, but of your piece. But for me, I don't really care. Like anytime something gets tangled, I'm like I can spend 30 minutes untangling this, or I can just snip it and knot the yarn together, and I choose that one every time. And you would too for a check. No, but like it just is, it becomes like more of a hassle to try to do the untangling. The other thing that I was kind of like over, and in terms of just like making sure you're saving your time or whatever, is Love is Blind. I decided to watch that this season for the first time in like 500 million seasons, and truly there isn't a lick of sincerity I see out of that show. Like I am really curious, because I'm sure some the producers are watching this stream right now, but like, have y'all completely abandoned the idea of actually having love stories? Like, I get it, it's a reality show, it's on Netflix, you want mess, you want drama, but I think what kind of made the first season especially, which was like one of the ones I did watch and I remember watching, was that while there was mess, it really did seem like the majority of people were there to sincerely get married or try to get married, and therefore it was just natural mess as a result of what would obviously happen if you have such an extreme situation where it's like you're dating somebody for a short period of time and immediately getting married. That itself brews drama, but like all the side messiness and foolishness, like that, just it doesn't really need that. I don't know. I always say that the best season to me of Love is Blind is the Japanese season, in which they had one and then never did it again. But that was like a perfect mixture of people that I felt. There was probably one person that I felt was on there not to get married. Well, her situation was kind of messy because I think it was kind of like she was like a singer. So I think it was like if she was able to find somebody, she would have been fine going with it. But I think even when she realized the person that she was with, they were not compatible and it was a bunch of foolishness, I feel like she stayed around because she was like, well, I might as well get my 15 minutes of fame. But everyone else, it seemed very, very genuine, and you had like genuinely messy stories come out from that, but like not crazy weird ones like what was going with Patrick and like Casey and all that stuff. I will also say, yeah, none of the couples like I enjoyed watching in the slightest. Like everything was messy. Like nobody was really. I felt like even if they like, even the least offensive situations were just like, these people have don't seem like they like each other that much and seem like they don't have a lot of chemistry. So why am I watching them when it's off? Like I went into the finale, I knew, feeling like nobody was gonna say yes, and it would be surprise. I was like, it would be shocking, surprising, and insane for me if one of these couples said yes, and none of them did. Which then is like, why did I even watch this? But yeah, it was just too messy. Am I gonna watch the reunion? Well, yes. It actually came out tonight. I think it's out right now because they put it on like a time lock. But I'm just kind of like, I'm just gonna see if anything interesting comes out of it, because I don't know. I feel like if I was a producer of that show, I'd feel very embarrassed that we produced a season where there was no married couples and there was barely anything. Like literally, technically, like I was telling my sister, because we watched it together, that I feel like when Megan and Jordan got broke up, I feel like that was well before the altar, and they just saved it for the altar episode because they did not like two a finale with two people that both said no. Y'all, I will say though, I saw a sentiment online where somebody was like, well, I think it's better that they say no. Then apparently there is a season again. I've kind of been off watching the seasons, but apparently there was a season where everyone said yes, and then by the reunion they weren't together anymore. So I'm like, well, that's messy too. So I wouldn't want that. But I don't know. This was such a flop season. If I was a producer, I would feel like we failed with this season, and we need to go back to the drawing board because yes, things are allowed to be messy. There's allowed to be doomed couples or doomed singles that have no business being there or have no business being together, and they're obviously not going to make it to altar. But everyone being that, I don't know. It just seems like you're not really remembering the original plot of the thing. Okay, we're at round 2. Yes, does this bottom kind of look a little shifted? Yes. And actually, I think it will end up working in my favor that the gray looks... Oh, shit. I forgot to carry the gray. Whatever. That the gray looks so bigger than the pink, or seems a bit thicker than the pink, because I feel like it will create a cool pattern that I will appreciate when the time comes. I really... There's like a part of me that's like, oh my God, I should turn this into a business. But then I'm like, ugh, then it becomes unfun. My favorite kind of business structure is there's this girl that I follow on YouTube named Passionate Kelsey. And she kind of like leisurely makes things, for videos and stuff. And then at the end of the month, she'll just put up everything she made that month for sale. And I think that's kind of how I would want to do it if I end up selling any of this stuff. Because it's just like the pressure of like having to make something again, or commissions. But I don't think I'm good enough yet. Look at this. I don't think I'm good enough yet to like take commissions. I need more practice, especially I haven't properly made a garment. It's back there. I've been working on one, but I kind of lost interest partial way because I was like, I don't really actually like the color I made. Or I picked. Actually, I ran out of the yarn I was using, and I also was like, I don't really like this color. So I was like, should I restart this whole entire project in black instead of the color I picked? And I'm like, I don't know, because I feel like I was like done with the front side of the shirt. So it was like, I was so close. Not really, but Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I forgot to carry the yarn. Which isn't too bad because there's only 2 colors, but okay, this is coming out of here, so this needs to come out of here. Yeah, that's not too bad so far. So this always gags me because it's just so hard for no reason. Okay, so I have to carry this yarn, wrap it around, pull through, switch colors, pull through, and slip stitch. Honestly, funny enough, if I end the year and I'm like, what did I do? I'm actually really happy that I learned how to crochet because I feel like I was lacking creative hobbies with low stakes. Because I feel like in a world where I feel like everyone's always telling you to monetize your hobbies, I did that for a lot of my hobbies. And some of them willingly. Like, obviously, all my K-pop stuff, I did that willingly. I always thought that was fun, and it was, like, cool mixing the... this might not eat as much as I thought it would. But mixing, my love for, like, audio, tech, all that stuff with my love for K-pop. But then I feel like anytime I was interested in stuff, I was like, okay, need to make a channel about it, need to make a stream about it or something, make a Twitch about it. And sometimes you don't need to do that. It's just not quite relevant. So I kind of go, Ooh. I kind of go back and forth where I'm like, oh. So if anything comes of this that's like businessy, it would have to be on very, very loose terms. Um, yeah. Also, what another thing is I started vocal lessons because I was like, I don't know. I always wanted to just make music very leisurely. I used to make music. I used to actually produce songs. I don't know what you would call it, like make songs. Um, but then I was always really not that great at mixing and mastering, so I'd always kind of stop because I was like, like this is not sounding how I want to sound, and I am struggling making it sound how I want to sound. So there was always like I could only go so far with how much I produced it. But I'm just kind of like, yeah, like I'm kind of just like anything that's on my bucket list, not on my bucket list, that's a little, but like anything that I ever had interest in and I was like afraid to try because what have you. I think I'm trying to enter that era of like not caring about image and like what other people might think or how that might make me look and just being like, do I have a genuine interest in this? Yes. Okay, let me go try it then. And I think, I don't know, I feel like it would just make a much funner life. Like, I'm ready for life to be really fun. If that makes sense. Anyway, I have 5 minutes here, so if anyone wants to tell me they have a crush on me, now is your time. The thing is, I really think I make so much progress in a short amount of time, but this is not that much. But I was right. Pink and Gray is an undefeated duo. I need somebody to make a video essay of the psychology of Pink and Gray being an undefeated duo. And this gray is so soft. Oh, I think I'm going to try to make a shirt out of it next, or a shawl or something. Um, One thing, I want to go to Japan next year, and one thing I'm really actually excited about is they have a very robust knitting and sewing community, but there's a lot of really cute project books they have that are just really cute, like trendy little accessories and stuff that you can make. So I'm ready. The thing is, if I buy them online, obviously with all the US tariffs, but like in general, they're like 15 more dollars than what they would be if you buy them for Japan. So I'm ready to buy a bunch of them. I already have been like saving and liking them on Instagram and Pinterest and stuff like that. But there's just so many cute. I like the fact, and maybe I just don't know enough about crocheting to know that this is a common practice, but like it's almost like a fashion book. So they'll have, oh, actually, I have one I could show you. I have one. I have some. Okay. Hold on. Ah, my ears. In particularly, I found that there's like this company called Apple Mints. So yeah, original price 1,600 yen, which is like what, maybe $10, maybe a little more. But then I saw this on the Kinokuniya bookstore website, and it's like $26. But yeah, it's really cute because it's like it's showing the stuff within the context of styling, and it's almost like a fashion magazine in the beginning. So you see like, different ways to use the hats, wear the hats, style the hats, different colorways. Really cute, like a little fashion magazine. And then in the back, oh, they have some stuff. They'll have all the diagrams. And that's also what I really like when it comes to like Japanese pattern books like this, is that it tends, in the ones that I've used, they tend to use diagrams and like symbols. And a lot of the like English crochet books that I have with the projects, they use like row one, do this, do this. And I just feel like I'm such a more visual person. So having like a diagram and showing how things connect is so much easier than me. And it really helps too, because I'm nowhere near fluent in Japanese. So I don't ever understand everything. Like there's, little symbols and stuff like that. and little explanations, but I can always understand like what the patterns are saying, and what the symbol, because the symbols are universal. So it's really, really nice because I think I can use them, and they're actual cute stuff that I'd actually wear. Like that's also another thing. A lot of the pattern books that I've found and like crochet books that I found are very old, like from like the 90s, whatever. So a lot of the stuff that they have as like practice things are things that I would never wear, aren't my style, aren't something I would use, like dishcloth. Although I can understand like dishcloth is just a really way to practice doing single crochet, but yeah, so I want to get more of those books. There's one in particular that like shows you how to make small bags that I'm obsessed with. But yeah, I would love to. What I really love is that a lot of like the, I guess, crochet influencers in Japan like will just like make a book. And I'm sure, actually, let me not say that. I know that that's a common thing, but they're just so aesthetic. I think that's what I love about them. But like I realized I got like two books, and I realized two of them, or I got like a couple books, and I realized two of them were literally published by like people online who were just like, let me publish this book. And I would love to do like a book where either I publish things that I made, like original or unique ideas that I made, or like when I get to the point where I can start making my own patterns, I publish patterns, because that would be really, really fun. And it could be self-published too, or just a PDF. I just like the idea of being able to design one. Look how far we are. This would also be a sickening color for like leg warmers. I'm just obsessed with this gray, and I'm so sad that the pink isn't giving what the gray is giving. Maybe I should double strand the pink. Maybe that would make it look a little nice. Okay. Oh, it's 9:45. All right, y'all. Folks, thank you so much for joining. I'll probably be back here at some point. I'm on my Corey Kenshin where I can't promise too much because my mood be all over the place. But hopefully if you did enjoy this, you'll be around for the next one. All right. See you. Bye.